Hi, I'm Stephen. I am a multidisciplinary designer with a focus on architecture, interiors, and furniture design. And this is not the architecture of cinema. This is Art Bros, apparently. I named it while titling the video. Well, this is Art Bros, Part 2. 2 weeks ago, we talked about Primo, played by Daniel Padilla in the movie The House of Us. This week, we're going to talk about Anthony, played by JM de Guzman in the movie That Thing Called Tadhana. One of my favorite movies. I think Antoinette really did an amazing job. Maybe I'm being biased kasi isa akong ka-eme and I really, really like her. But recently, nirewatch ko yung movie tapos may layers si Anthony and meron siyang specific sequence sa movie that really resonated with me as a 20-something-year-old artist, as a 20-something-year-old creative who's trying to figure it all out, whose practice is in the intersection between architecture, art, design, and I'm just trying to make sense of the world at the moment. Pero JM de Guzman, his character Anthony really described it so well, how I've been feeling lately, and I think it's worth talking about. Kasi I know na hindi lang ako mag-isa. Hindi lang mag-isa si Anthony. And I'm sure nung sinusulat pa ni Antoinette, maybe she was feeling this way? I don't know, but this feeling is so apparent with Filipino creatives, and I think it's time that we talk about it. Anthony's character did not revolve around him being an artist, unlike Primo's character. However, there's a good reason for that. He had a monologues of him explaining why he didn't pursue painting. It was a loaded scene, and I want to dissect it line by line and share why it resonated with me in such a deep level. Towards the middle of the film, merong monologue si Anthony nung pumunta sila sa Bencab Museum. I'm gonna insert clips and para din ma-feel nyo kung ano yung emosyon na buhat-buhat ni Anthony during the scene. Dati ako nagpe-paint. Fine arts ako noon sa UP. Insecure ako nung college. Pero nung high school, sobrang galing ko. Lahat ng competition na salihan ko, panalo ako. Tangin na pagdating ko sa UP, ang gagaling ng mga klase ko. May mga malang, may abueva. Akala ko magaling na ako, marunong lang pala. I think we've all been there. Kung si Anthony na feel niya yung pressure sa UP Fine Arts, I definitely felt the same pressure in UST Architecture. Speaking from someone na hindi naman galing sa pamilya ng architects, well, there's a few, but it's not like my batchmates na yung nanay at tatay nila sikat na contractor or sikat na architect. It's just, it's me from somewhere in Malolos, Bulacan trying to trying to compete. And honestly, that kind of anxiety, that kind of insecurity really takes a toll on you. Lalo na nung first year na merong cut-off and you're just, I don't know, I feel like nung first year, kung hindi ako makakapasa sa cut-off, I'm gonna have to go home and tell people na, well, you were right. It wasn't for me. But I did, thank God. Holy shit. 5 years after the graduation, here we are doing our residency in Qatar. I've taken design programs. I am a full-time architect. And, meron na tayong mga accolades. Meron na tayong recognition from meron na tayong corporate and institutional recognition somehow. And now I can say na merong there's a different side of the coin where meron ka ng pressure to produce something great all the time. If there's like people messaging me na oh, they like what I do, or they follow me because of the work that I do. Even here in the architect in my YouTube channel, there's some of you who's like commenting na you really like my videos, and there's this pressure to really keep up with that. But at the same time, once you receive corporate and institutional approval, I am in a government-funded residency at the moment. Nung natanggap ko siya, I was so freaking happy. But at the same time, maybe it's just my brain. Baka toxic ako mag-isip. Pero nung na-receive ko yung residency, na approve ako, they're gonna give me a grant, they're gonna go on with the project. Parang inisip ko na, halatang ina, at the age of 27, predictable na ba yung art na ginagawa ko? Like, meron na akong approval from traditionally conservative people. So, does it mean na conservative din yung art na ginagawa ko? Am I not challenging the norms? Am I not pushing the needle? Am I being predictable? Kasi ako na yun Ako na yung taong kino-compare ni Anthony sa sarili niya na kasi galing siya dito, kasi may accolades na siya. Well, what if eto na yun? Minsan natatakot ako na yung recognition na nakukuha ko at the moment would be a peak. This is my peak. I can't go any further. Holy shit. And then some days, nakakapagod siya Kasi some days, babalik ako dun sa posisyon ni Anthony na makikita ko yung gawa ng mga kasama ko. And I'm gonna compare myself. I'm gonna think, holy shit, I am not doing enough. These people are parents. These people are full-time workers as well. They have full-time jobs. And what am I doing? I will never be good enough. Tapos babalik na naman ako dun sa I just feel like in my own lens, if I'm gonna perceive myself like this as an artist, it's gonna be a losing game. I'm never gonna win against me. I'm never gonna win against overthinking. Ito na siya forever and ever and ever. And somewhere down the line, I'm gonna compare myself to someone younger who's achieved more. And it's gonna be... This is something that I'm still trying to understand. Na parang, yes, kung kakausapin ko si Antoinette ngayon, she's gonna be like, bata ka pa. If you're a ka-eme, you'd understand na yun yung lagi nilang advice. Parang, oh my God, 27 years old and you're panicking. Tangina mo, parang tanga. Yes, tama naman sila dun. So, I guess at some point, we just have to stop overthinking. Tangina. Yun lang ang alam kong gawin. Kaya pagka-graduate ko, nag-focus na lang ako sa design. Doon, may pera. Tapos, pag nagkakapera ka, parang gusto mo na lang gumawa ng pera. Tapos, marirealize mo na lang na 8 years na pala. Oh my God! I remember filling up my college application forms and lahat ng second choice ko ay fine arts. Kasi tama naman sila nasa design ang pera. Kahit na lately parang nawawala na rin ng pera sa design because of AI. Right? But anyway, this is so fucking relatable and I know na there's a lot of people out there na nag-take ng architecture like me, kahit na gusto naman talaga nila gawin ay mag-fine arts. Taas ang kamay! Don't get me wrong. I fucking love architecture. I love architecture. At some point, parang matututunan mo siyang mahalin and it's gonna stick. It's going to fucking stick. Craziest part is nagpapasalamat ako kay Lord na hindi ako nag-fine arts. Thank you, Lord, kasi nag-architecture ako. Kasi kung nag-fine arts ako, feeling ko mas mako-contain ako sa isang box na dapat ito yung gawin mo. Ito yung traditionally accepted form of art. Pero dahil hindi ko siya inaral, dahil nag-architecture ako, dahil nag-design path ako, I can just make art for art's sake. Like, who's gonna tell me it's wrong? And I'm not gonna search if it's right or wrong. Ba't ko naman gagawin sa sarili ko yun? But at the same time, I feel like a lot of work. I feel like the work that I do today, that you'd consider as fine art, takes so much inspiration from architecture na I wouldn't have explored it this way kung hindi ako nag-train ng traditional classical architecture. And I am just so grateful, honestly, sa UST. Kasi may mga classes sa UST na iti-take, may photography class, VT, where you do watercolor, acrylic, oil. Tapos at some point, I remember experimenting with clay. Super random. And honestly, thank God. Thank you, USTRK, for making me practice my technical skills. Also, drafting, super helpful. And yeah, I wouldn't have done it any other way. May isang bagay pa ako na naaalala from this line. May mga college professor ako dati sa UST na nagsasabi na hindi lahat dito ay magiging architect. Akala ko dati sobrang offensive nun. Like, bakit mo sasabihin yun sa isang classroom na puno ng architecture students? But the reality is, I was missing the point. Yes, hindi lahat ng tao sa classroom na yon ay magiging architect because they're going to explore different facets of design and construction. Madami yung kilala naging construction, like contractor, and they're making more money. Like, wow, congrats. Sana wala kayong flood control projects, tangin. Or interior design, also may pera din doon. I'm doing furniture on the side, may pera din doon. Case in point, Virgil Abloh. He's an architecture graduate, pero he ended up being the creative director of Louis Vuitton and the founder of Off-White. That's fashion. Completely different aspect of design. Also, lalayo pa ba tayo? Francis Libiran. He's a UST architecture graduate. I believe his first collections, his first inspirations were the Art Deco buildings in UST. And that's how you use your knowledge in architecture and fashion. Unti-unti ko nang nare-realize na may point yung mga professor na nagsasabi ng ganun sa UST Archi, kahit na while I was hearing that, parang wow, rude. But hindsight is 2020. Minsan gets ko na kasi kung saan may pera, dun tayo. Kung walang pera sa architecture at the moment, baka may pera sa interiors or sa furniture or sa construction. Parang, the thing about architecture is it's not gonna leave you. It's always gonna be there. Lalo na kung may lisensya ka, like, i-renew mo lang ng i-renew. Like, who cares? Sa linyang to na alala ko din yung Filipino culture na bakit pag hindi mo ginawang trabaho yung course na tinake mo nung college, sobrang big deal. Like, anong problema natin? Hindi ba tayo multifaceted human beings na pwede bang magkaroon ng levels, na magkaroon ng layers as a human being? Parang, pag architecture graduate, dapat maging architect. And here's the thing. Hindi lang to problema sa Pilipinas, problema siya sa buong mundo na yung academia nagiging instead of pursuit for knowledge, nagiging pursuit siya for employment. Nag-gets ko naman. Kailangan natin ng pera, pero that's not the point of universities. Ewan ko. Ay, opinion ko lang yun. Sino ba naman ako para ibahin yung sistema? I'm just saying na academia should be pursuit of knowledge, not employment. Pero that's just me. Di ko alam kung kaya ko pa. Di ko alam kung marunong pa ako. Siguro hindi ko alam gawin yung gumawa para sa sarili ko. Kasi ngayon, lahat ng gawin ko para sa boss, para sa kliyente, o may kailangan akong deadline na kunin. Yun siguro yung di ma-unlearn. Again, I am going to emphasize the idea of doing art for art's sake. Lahat naman tayo gusto kumita, gets? Pero doing things for yourself, just, hindi mo kailangan pagkakitaan yung painting na gagawin mo. What if mag-paint ka lang? Yes, meron kang work, meron kang day job, Anthony. Mag-painting ka lang. Hindi mo, isabit mo lang sa living room or sa kwarto mo. I think that's when we lose the plot na in this fucking age of fucking social media, lahat na lang kailangan i-monetize, lahat na lang kailangan huta ng pera. Bawal bang mag-painting lang kasi gusto ko mag-painting? Kaya nga ako merong day job. Kaya ako may work. Para doon ako kumikita. Again, do art for art's sake. Whoever's watching this, may work ka na. Hindi mo kailangan gawing negosyo lahat. Just express yourself. After a few years of being a full-time architect and artist on the side, sobrang laking mental fortitude ang kailangan to actually start doing things for yourself. And what I've come to realize is my work as an architect informs the art that I make, and the art that I make informs my work in architecture. And I am at the point where I don't think they can exist separately. While I'm doing art, I need to be making architecture. While I'm doing architecture, I need to make art because they inform one another. You can't take one away from the other. Kasi one I do for money and then the other one I do for myself. And I think at the end of the day, that is how passion works. If you manage to make everything sing, to make everything flow together in a way that it informs one another, then congratulations. Flow state. You have a style. Congrats. Yay. And I remember this advice nung director, si Antoinette, sa podcast nila ng Ang Walang Kwentang Podcast, and I'm sure you guys are all ka-eme. If you have any kind of inkling towards Filipino films, I am sure you know these people. Pero one time, nasabi ko na din to sa iba kong friends and sa ibang tao na nag-a-ask sa akin ng advice. Lagi ko silang dinedirect dun sa episode nila, Direct Antoinette and Direct JP, kung saan nag-advise sila na kung lawyer ka ngayon or accountant ka ngayon and gusto mong mag-director in the future, mag-stick ka muna sa accounting or sa law kasi darating yung panahon that you're gonna have to write or direct a character na isang lawyer or isang accountant, and there's no one better to do it than you. I feel like, again, in this fast-paced society, in this age of social media, lahat ng bagay kailangan instant. Pero if we see things in a holistic manner, maiintindihan natin na may point lahat ng bagay na pinagdadaanan natin at the moment. I think it's also worth mentioning yung isang line ni Maze sa film.
Grabe, no? Aren't we supposed to be great by this time?
Weren't we supposed to be great by this time? Weren't we supposed to be great by this time? At the age of 29, or at least in-assume kong 29 silang dalawa sa film na to, or at least late 20s, gets na gets ko yung dilemang ito. Someday, babalikan ko tong video na to, and I'm going to cringe kasi I'm talking so much about greatness and work, and honestly, in reality, I don't know what's gonna happen in the future. Like, honestly, who knows? And when you ruminate about greatness all the time and your timeline on Earth, katulad nung ginawa ni Maze and ni Anthony dito sa part ng film, parang Like, what's the point? Right? Kasi at the end of the film, ibang tao na si Anthony. Hindi ko alam kung ano nangyari kay Maze, pero ibang tao na si Anthony. Oh, there's birds. But this question, weren't we supposed to be great by now? I think nanggagaling yun sa sa comparison natin or sa masyado nating pag-look forward in the future. Kasi if if you would have told 12-year-old Stephen, even 18-year-old Stephen, that I'm gonna be living like this, having residencies, being a full-time architect, he'd be like, holy shit, okay, we're gonna be okay. Pero dahil kino-compare natin yung sarili natin sa future us, not even other people, kino-compare natin yung sarili natin in future us. Well, yeah, you're gonna think, shouldn't I be great by now? The pursuit of greatness has led me to believe that if I try hard enough, things will work out. They should work out. And nakakalimutan ko na the outcome was never the point. It's the journey, it's the making, it's the figuring out, the process. And I think Maze asking this question is part of her story. Anthony questioning his choices is too. And I think both of them having the courage to take a moment to assess and reflect and question their decisions is greatness in itself. Tas may convo sila ni Maze. Sabi ni Maze, to the great people we could have been. Sabi ni Anthony, parang ayoko naman ata mag-cheers dyan. So sabi ni Maze, to the great people we are today. Sabi naman ni Anthony, sinungaling. 8 years of Maze accepting her path. Siya na to, he's the one. Pakakasalan ko na siya. Sure na ako dito. 8 years of Anthony accepting his path. Hindi na ako artist. Designer na ako kasi dito may pera. Dito may security. Sure na ako dito. Baka that's the thing called Tadhana. Their decisions 8 years ago has led them to the same spot at the airport. Regardless of the path that we choose to take, we will always end up where we are meant to be. So who are we to judge the past and present versions of ourselves? Sabi nga ni Kierkegaard, life can only be understood backwards, but must be lived forwards. Holy shit. Thank you guys for staying with me. Honestly, this is the thing about me. I watch movies and I ruminate. And the thing about rumination is, when you stare into the abyss long enough, it turns into a fucking mirror. Malay ko ba, na nung pinanood ko tong movie na to 5-10 years ago, I'd be here? Nung nirewatch ko siya like 2 weeks ago and now it's a mirror. Suddenly, I'm fucking Anthony and I'm also Maze. Antoinette, congrats. JM de Guzman, thank you for your service. See you guys next time. Bye!